doesn't help me clarify in my mind who is the most culpable out of this situation, or are they equally culpable? Are there, whose conduct was the most extreme? The mother who abandons her child in that setting and does nothing to rescue the child, who chooses Mr. King and her own pleasure over the child, or Mr. King, who throws the child, or he didn't throw it, places the child in the back of the car and shows no concern, compassion, or anything for the child, and in effect joins with the mother in the treatment of the child. Though it wasn't his child, he initiated his role in it when he placed the child in the back of the car and when he did nothing to get the child out of the car.
On behalf of Mr. King, in response to your
Yes, sir.
inquiry,
Yes, sir.
all my dealings with him and all my conversations with him, he doesn't want me to point the finger or some way to minimize his involvement or his culpability by saying, well, he's worse, she's worse. Your Honor's heard what he's done. He owns the conduct. He was candid on the stand. Yeah. He's accepted gracefully at the table. He's not.
And I appreciate that. You've said that repeatedly, and I accept it, and I appreciate that.
Well, when Your Honor asked me who is more culpable,
in my mind, I'm trying to make that determination because I'm going to have to sentence each one of them to a period of years. They might get the same. One might get 30, one might get 40, one might get 50. They might each get the same.
to the extent Your Honor was inviting me to point out the reason she's more culpable, Mr. King does not want to do that. He owns his conduct.
All right, I understand. Thank you. And I'm not attempting to pit one against the other. I'm just, yeah.
That's how remarkable position it is. And we agree.
All right. Mr. Solicitor.
I've tried to stay quiet, Judge, and I'm sorry.
I don't like people to stay quiet on me.
I can't. Well, before the case comes to you, it has to go through me. They're both here together today because of that. I couldn't make that decision. I could not decide which should work because the more I looked at the video, which I have done, I assure you, more than just about anybody, even in this courtroom, I just kept getting madder and madder. And honestly, I could not make a determination who I was more angry at. The man who is putting the child in the car and just stands there, or the mother that abandons the child even before we get into that situation. And I've heard the support groups that these people have, and Your Honor, like you, been in a courtroom for a long time. And we deal with a lot of people that don't have any support group whatsoever. And to have it, and to ignore it, I don't think that's mitigation. I think that's aggravation. Sir, I cannot tell you which one is more culpable, but quite frankly, from my standpoint, I don't feel for either one of them.
What is the penalty for great bodily injury?
20. That's 0 to 20.
Yes, sir. And I looked it up before. I just wanted to be sure. All right, Mr. King, if you'll come around for sentencing. Mr. King is sentenced to the court on the offense of murder that you be committed to the State Department of Corrections for a period of 32 years. Great bodily injury, the sentence is 20 years. Sentences will run concurrent with credit for any time that you've already served.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you all. Ms. Pangalangan, a lot of folks have said a lot of good things about you and a lot of positive impacts that you've made on their lives. You're not being sentenced to death. You won't be facing a firing squad or a gas chamber or electric chair. Your life goes on, but it'll go on behind bars, and you'll still have that same opportunity to make a positive impact on the lives of other people who you encounter, and I hope you do that. I simply cannot fathom a mother treating a child the way that you did and allowing that to happen to a child, to your child, the child that you birthed. Yeah. I don't know if the child at some point became a burden. I don't know what the circumstances were that would lead you to placing the child in that situation. And as if you left and went to Atlanta, Georgia, or maybe we'll say not Charleston, to Myrtle Beach, and went there and got in the beach in the water a few hours, and then came back, and then decided that it's a frantic situation. You did it. You have to live with it. And as bad as the conduct of Mr. King was, yours was worse, in my mind. And, you can talk about intent where you have rational thinking minds, but extreme recklessness brought upon by drugs and alcohol. As we said, intoxication is not a defense and not an excuse. That's what, in effect, you're asking, and it's not. Sentence of the court is that you be committed to the State Department of Correction for a period of 37 years on murder, 20 years on great bodily injury. Sentences will run concurrent, and you will receive credit for time served. Do we have the number of days of credit that they're entitled to?
39, Your Honor.
You receive credit for 39 days. And Mr. King, do we know how many days he gets credit for?
No, Your Honor.
Did Mr. Other guy left, the lawyers? Does anyone know? I'll just have that calculated by the Department of Corrections. Yes, sir.
Under the green case that I presented earlier, the one homicide, one punishment rule, that potentially could be triggered, that's certainly what we've argued. Based on that, there could be only one punishment. I understand it's a concurrent sentence, but under that case, even the conviction itself is an actual considered punishment. And I know Your Honor's prior ruling regarding that position, but based on that, we would also argue that that applies in the sentence.
So, and you might be right, and that might pertain to a single incident, not a continuous course of conduct over many hours. What says the state?
I think it is. I think the law is clear on that there are two separate sentences, and you're saying this is it, Your Honor.
All right, well, I want to commend everyone for a good and thorough job in presenting your best case that you could present to the jury, and the jury has spoken, and now the court has spoken. And I want to thank everyone for your participation. And court will be adjourned.